So the first requirement of a valid grant deed, since it's basically a real estate contract, I grant to you this property, is that it be in writing. The second requirement is that it have language in it that says what's going on. That language in it we call a granting clause. I, Armando Oliva, grant to Bob Smith for valuable consideration the real property located at 123 Mockingbird Lane. The third requirement is that it have a reasonable description. A reasonable description. Now you notice I didn't say a legal description. There is a difference. A legal description is when you're putting down the lot number, the tract code, and kind of a nonsensical description that you see in title reports and other things. Here, you just need a reasonable description. Now, in law, reasonable means something. It means the average person would know what we're talking about. So let's say this person happened to own 2 houses on the same street. A reasonable person would realize which one we're talking about. So it requires a reasonable description, a reasonable description. And number 4, it needs to be signed, but it only needs to be signed by the grantor. The grantor. Now, you might see a question that says, a valid grant deed requires all of the following except. All the following except. And they may say notarized, recorded. And you would have to know that a valid grant deed does not have to be notarized. And it does not have to be recorded. Now, why is it almost always notarized and recorded? Because the lender and the title insurance company that we'll talk about later, they demand it. If you're buying the house cash, well, you have a lot less rules. But when you're going to borrow Bank of America's money, they say, listen, we need you to record this. And if you're going to record anything at not in your Hello Kitty journal, but when you record something, we say you're recording it at the county recorder's office. They make you notarize the document, verify that the person signing is the person on the document in order for them to record it. But it's not required by law. So on the state exam, this is what's required for a valid grant deed. This is done by custom and by title and insurance companies and lenders that require it, but it's not required for a valid grant deed.